Hey, what's going on, sports fans? This is Sean with boxingandbasketball.com with my co-host Matthew Rain, and we're about to bring you another filled week of NBA news. I know you were expecting us last Thursday. Me and Matthew just had other things dealing with our boxing and other careers, but we're back this week, and we're ready to bring you some exciting things that's happened over the last 5 days. How's it going, Matthew?
Going pretty good. As I said before we were on air, I just got out of a date. But my favorite date of the week is talking basketball with you.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I haven't met somebody. I know people that like basketball and NBA. But I haven't met nobody that likes it as much as Matthew. And
Wow.
Matthew, listen, one of these episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to come on here during one of our lives, and you're gonna have to do that little quiz you do on your phone and throw a couple of them out there to the fans if anybody's on there to see if they can answer it.
The Immaculate Grid, the best game. If you're not playing it, I play it every single morning. It'll help you in trivia if you play trivia, and it'll help you just know little facts about basketball, help you learn more about basketball. Shout out Basketball Reference. Shout out the Immaculate Grid.
Right. There you have it. All right, so we're going to start the show off talking about Jeff T. For those who don't know, Jeff T used to play in the NBA. Now he has his own podcast along with his other guys. And Jeff T was talking about if Larry Bird played in today's NBA. And he let them know watching Joker highlights and y'all thinking how good Joker is. How good do you think Larry would be right now? Because when I watch older people play, they be like, he ain't athletic, he ain't this. But then when I watch Joker, it's just like he's walking around. He just make it look so simple. Like if Larry Bird played right now, like Luca and Joker just be walking around, Larry Bird would easily average 30, 10, and 8. So what do you think about that, Matthew? Is there any truth to that, do you think?
Larry Bird will be killing it today. I don't care. I don't care. Look. Some of these white boys from the past are overrated. Like you put George Mikan in today's league, he's gonna suck.
Okay.
He's not gonna do nothing for you. But you're talking about Larry Bird. I mean, Larry Bird was winning championships and MVPs against Magic and Kareem. I mean,
Right.
Sean, he was playing in the 80s. He wasn't
Right,
playing in
right.
the 50s. He wasn't playing in the 60s. Sean, we're not talking about Bob Cousy. We're not talking about
Right.
George Mikan. We're not talking about John Havlicek. We're talking
Right.
about Larry Bird. Larry Bird winning chips on Magic's head, winning chips on Kareem's head, going head to head with the
Yeah.
bad boy Pistons, putting up 30, putting up 10. People forget about this Larry Bird. 10
Uh-huh.
rebounds a game for many seasons of his career. I want to say he's a career, he's exactly 10 rebounds a game. And he went up as many as 11 rebounds a game in his prime. Shooting 50% from the field, shooting 40% from three, shooting 90% from the free throw line,
Uh-huh.
multiple years. Look, we could talk athleticism and you could watch the clips. Larry Bird's as saucy as any white boy that's ever played the game. I mean, you
Uh-huh.
look at some of those around the back passes, you look at those rebounds leading to a pass that nobody saw. So I got no doubt about like the sauce that he's going to bring into the game. Like he'd be able to bring that today, just like he brought it in the 80s. But the one thing that's not going to fade, we could talk about athleticism, but the one thing that's not going to fade is the shooting. Larry Bird is a
Yeah.
bucket. I mean, we can watch slow guys. We can watch someone like, now this is going to be a horrible example because this is not a star player, but I want to take the slowest player in the league, slow-mo, Kyle
Uh-huh.
Anderson. If he can get his buckets in today's league, if he can average 8 points in today's league playing like he is, just off smart basketball and being
Uh-huh.
able to make a couple shots, you're telling me a legend, an absolute legend like Larry Bird wouldn't like be able to get his buckets in this league? Come on, man. I
Right.
agree with Jeff Teague completely. I don't know about the 8 assists. He get a few assists, but at the end of the day, a cat like Larry Bird is going to be looking for his shot. But I would say 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 or 6 assists.
All right. And if you look at it, I just put up the stats. So I want to compare the three, right? So first of all, we know that Larry Bird got 3 NBA championships. Matter of fact, what years were that? 81, 84, and 86, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at it, his career was 24.3 points, 10 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. If you look at Joker right now, he's averaging 20, 21. right now this season. 10 to 11 rebounds, 6 to 7 assists. And Luka's averaging 27, 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. But think about it. These points that they're getting now, this NBA is a free for all, straight offense. 10% defense if you're going to get that. And can you imagine Larry was getting 25, 24, 25 on the hardest defense that you're going to face? He would have, I promise you, he would probably average, you're right, he wouldn't have the rebounds and assists. He would probably have 40, averaging 40 points and maybe 5 rebounds. No, you know what? Matter of fact, I think he would have 10 rebounds just to show that I can out rebound y'all bigs. Assists, listen, it's going so easy for him. He might just kick it out to assists once he started hitting about 30 points. Let me drop some dimes to some of my partners. But you're probably right. But I put him at 38 to 40 points. I put him at 10 rebounds. And I probably put him out probably about 5 to 7 assists.
I mean, I agree with you completely. I mean, look at the accolades. I'm just looking at this. 3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, 2-time Finals MVP, 3-time All-Defense, a two-way killer playing both sides of the ball. And Sean, look, he's not in an era full of scrubs. We can't act like he was playing in the 50s. We can't act like he was playing in the 60s. Who did he have to play against? Kareem. He had to play against Magic. He had to play against the bad boy Pistons. He had to play against young Michael Jordan. He had to play against George Gervin, Julius Erving. He was playing against legends, and he was an absolute killer. He's a killer in the 80s. He's a killer today.
Yep, absolutely. And the only problem I think he had right now, Matthew, is I don't know. I think he would be kicked out of the game for flagrant fouls.
Man,
because he'll do it just to get in your head, but he wouldn't get himself out early, right? He'll wait till they're up like 20 and he's just dropping dimes and there's like 4 minutes left and know you ain't gonna win, and then he'll just like get. That's why I say flagrant, right? Because if he's gonna hit you, he's gonna talk smack with it. Did you ever see those videos where they said Larry Bird is one of the most dirtiest trash talkers there ever was?
He walked in the locker room and said, "I'm feeling 50 tonight," and then dropped 50. But I think he did it with a little finesse. I don't think he was getting thrown out of games. I think he was talking on the low and frustrating you, then getting his buckets.
Well, no, let me tell you what I mean, right? I mean, he could get away with that back then. There was really no flagrant fouls. The way he played, if he did that now, the refs would get him out of here this day and time because they soft.
Especially if he did it to SGA, man.
Yeah.
You don't touch SGA. You don't touch Luka. Hell yeah, he foul out by the second quarter playing in 80s rules.
Yeah. So I'm like you, Matthew. Like I completely agree with Jeff T. And you know how he feels that the game would go. All right,
that's a legend right there.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, Matthew, before we move on, who is there anybody in the NBA right now you would compare him to as far as his style of play?
I mean, that's tough because who shoots that good and rebounds that good and play makes and plays defense? I mean, there's different players where you could say he's a little bit of this, he's a little bit of that, but
all right, what if you took away the flashy? I wouldn't say he was necessarily flashy, right? But the only person that kind of comes to mind right now that can put up points, they're not going to really trash talk, though. They're going to put up points and they're going to play defense. And you know, it's the subtle things that Larry did, right? That it didn't look, before you know it, he had like 30 points. You're like, where did that come from? The only person I think, and I'm not saying a style of play, but similar will probably be Kawhi Leonard without the trash talk. He's just a solid assassin. Before you know it, Kawhi got 30 points. You're like, what? Like, when did he even score these points?
Yeah, I can see Kawhi.
And he got great defense.
He got great defense. I don't think he play makes. Like, I don't think he makes plays like Larry did.
Right,
but
absolutely.
He's so good that he has a center of he the gravity all moves towards him, so he gets some assists just because everyone's playing him. But I don't
Right.
think he's as good of a playmaker. But yeah, I'll
Right.
say Kawhi, maybe prime Klay Thompson. A little bit lacking some of the stuff, but in terms of the shooting, the defense, the confidence,
Let's see
maybe
who else.
Klay, a little pieces of Klay, pieces of Kawhi. I mean, I could start throwing random people in here, pieces of
Right.
prime Andre Iguodala, but I just think the thing we're trying to say is that nobody's quite like Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think there will be one for a long time.
I don't think so. Con Knipple, you better step up, boy.
All right. And listen, and do you think people even try to compare Luca to him? Like it's totally different types of style play. And
No.
he did mention about the matter of fact, let me pull up. What did he say about the walking around, right? I don't think Larry really just walked around. That's the only part about what Jeff Teague says. Uh, Larry Bird looked like he was slow, but I don't think he was. I think he moved at a great speed.
But you got to remember, a lot of the clips we see are post some of his injuries, and especially, it was a back injury that ended his career.
Mm-hmm.
So he's slowing down a lot by the end. So if we're looking at 1990 Larry Bird or 89 Larry Bird versus like 1980 Larry Bird, there's going to be a big difference. But if we can find some peak middle version 84, I think he's moving around just fine.
Right. Right. Absolutely. All right. Now moving on. Next, we have Jonathan Kuminga. We talked about Jonathan last time.
They didn't like what
Matthew.
we had to say.
Oh man, the comments. If I get to it, I'll pull them up in a little bit and we'll go over some of those comments at the end. Or matter of fact, when you're talking, I'll see if I can pull up some of the comments what he said. But right now, Jonathan Kuminga, since joining the Hawks, has 27. He had 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 of 12 shooting. Great. 17, 9, and 3 with 5 of 9 shooting. Didn't take as many shots, but 5 of 9 was still kind of efficient. Then he came out with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 10 shooting. And what makes it so bad, Matthew, the Hawks announcer took shots at the Golden State Warriors. And listen, for all y'all people that talked about me and Matthew and commented about the Warriors, the announcer themselves says, "Thank you, Warriors. How do you give up on a guy this young with that much ability?" So what are your thoughts? Is he making out good with the Hawks? They hate it when we compared him to Trey Young, and was it a good trade?
I mean, look, he's making out fine so far. It's 3 games in, but yeah, he's like a streaky shooter, rangy guy, good athleticism, a lot of potential. But the people in the comments acting like he's the second coming of Christ. And I just don't know that. I mean, the people that were in the comments were acting like, oh, you guys are such casuals because you don't realize that Jonathan Kuminga is actually the best player to ever play. Well, I mean, yes, he's got a lot of potential. Yes, he might be good. Yes, he might make a couple all-star teams, but miss me with this. Like Steve Kerr is I don't want to say one of the best coaches in the league, but certainly top 5. So certainly has his issues, but certainly would know how to evaluate talent. Weighed next to the fact that the team is so dominated by Steph that you have to play Steph's style because it's won you championships. But I mean, I think despite what the Twitter GMs say, I think the guy knows how to evaluate talent. I think the Golden State Warriors organization knows how to evaluate talent. And if he was really like a more athletic, rangier version of Kawhi Leonard, I think we would all know that by now. But the people in the comments, seem to, be basketball experts, and they seem to know that this guy is going to be in a rivalry with Ant and Luka and SGA for best player in the league. And maybe he is. And if he is, then, we're wrong. But I see him having potential. Maybe he could average 20 points a game. Maybe he could take the Hawks to a lower end of the playoffs. I mean, he's not going to keep up his current production. Right now with the Hawks, he's averaging 67% from the field and 56% from 3. So obviously, that's not sustainable. But now that he's getting a chance to shine, He is shining. He's doing good. And I apologize to everyone in the comments, and I will pay closer to attention from him from now on. And I think it is true because sometimes when you say something about basketball that people don't agree with, there's a tendency to say, "Oh, you don't watch the games," or "You're a casual." So let
Right.
me like say my god honest amount of basketball watching. I watch every Kings game because I'm a fan of the Kings, and so whoever plays the Kings, I watch them once or twice a year. So I see
Uh-huh.
everybody once or twice a year. Then obviously I live in San Antonio, so I watch most of the Spurs games. So I watch two teams and I watch whatever teams play them. So no, I haven't seen Jonathan Kuminga as much as the Golden State fans have seen him. No, I haven't seen Jonathan Kuminga as much as where did he go? G League Ignite. I don't think he was in college. I think he was G League Ignite. So no, I haven't watched him as much as people who follow the G League or the Warriors or the Hawks have seen him. But from my sample size, I think he's
Mm-hmm.
very good, and I'd be curious to see what his full potential is. But I'm skeptical that his peak is as high as some of the people in our comments would suggest.
All right, here we have it. They start off your perspective of Kaminga on the Warriors is awful. Go watch Golden Days and talk to side. Then we got
I ain't watching
not help.
Golden Days.
Yeah, not helping you show that you just buy the narrative that Jonathan Kaminga comes out of the Bay Area, shows you're not watching basketball. And then the last person, Jonathan Kaminga is much better than a narrative pushed by Steve Kerr the last few years. Kerr was pissed the team drafted Jonathan Kaminga over his choice, which was Franz Wagner, and spent the first 5 years of Jonathan Kaminga's career undermining him to prove to the front office he was right. So, I mean, what do you think about the Franz Wagner versus Jonathan Kaminga?
I mean, that's quite a conspiracy, man. That like the idea that Kerr was so upset that he didn't get Franz Wagner, that he put Kaminga on the bench for 5 years, which isn't even true. I mean,
Right,
Kaminga started intermittently 2 years ago, 23-24, had the best season of his career, the season that made people think that he has the potential that he has, but it's just Steph Curry won you 4 championships. And
right,
so he's going to be the focal point of that offense. So, and he's still very good. He still averages like 25 points a game, still makes like 7 or 8 threes a game, probably a couple less than that. But there was no world where Kuminga was going to take over the offense from Curry. And if the
right.
Warriors are still committed to a Curry-led offense, then it just wasn't going to work there. I mean, and Kuminga like could have made it easier on himself by agreeing to be a role player, but I guess from Kuminga's mind state, the idea is that once you accept being a role player, then people see you as a role player. So he sees himself as a superstar. It's like when guys take the buyout and then take the minimum contract, and then they never get a higher contract than the minimum because the league sees them as minimum guys after they take that first minimum contract. So from Kuminga's perspective, he was just going to bitch and moan that he wasn't the superstar because he thought if he accepted being a role player, then the league was going to see him as a role player. So maybe he's right. Maybe he's the ultimate example of investing in himself, and we'll see how it plays out in Atlanta.
Yeah, and you know what? It kind of puts me in mind of right. It kind of puts me in mind of, like you said, it's too early for Jonathan Kaminga, right, to know, right? Because a lot of people are hyped when I'm not going to say really hyped, but they're wondering how he could spread his wings when Kyle Kuzma went over to Washington, and they're like, oh, he started off strong and they were giving him the ball, but eventually, he fizzled out. And then when Jordan Poole went, they're hyper about him. Look at him spread his wings. He's doing great. But then he fizzled out, right? So now it's another thing. Jonathan Kuminga is starting off good, right? Well, he turned into the superstar. Will he stay average, or will he fizz out like Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole?
The only thing I know for sure is them people in the comments are not going to like you comparing Kuminga to Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. I feel like we got a little more hate mail coming, but I mean, it remains to be seen. Because like I said, he's shooting 67% from the field right now with Atlanta, 56% from three. We know he's not going to do that for a whole season. Nobody does that.
Right, right.
But how precipitous is the decline? Is he
Hmm.
still going to be averaging about 20 points on 50% shooting? Because if he's doing that and he's also playing some defense and he's also stretching out the
Let's get
defense
rid
in
of.
different ways when he's on offense, showing him different things, showing him that his shot can fall reliably so he can get some easy runs to the rim. I mean, we're going to have to see what happens, but there's going to be a moment where we can decide if we were right. And I don't even think we're hating on him. I think we're just saying wait and see because, anything can happen. He had a lot of opportunity in Golden State. Let's see what happens. But I don't think it'll be like Kuzma. I think no matter what, he will. I think that what if things don't go now? What if things don't work out in Atlanta and he starts complaining about his role there? Then you start to wonder if it's even like an athleticism thing or if it's a never going to be happy with his role. I mean, there's a lot of things that can
Right.
happen. I want to see more than 3 games before we declare him the next Kawhi.
Right. So on here, I'm looking at their career averages, right? Side by side of those three. Jonathan Kuminga is 12.5 points, 4 rebounds, 1.8 assists. And most people note him as having he's an athletic forward. Efficiency and role is still growing. But then you look at Kyle Kuzma. Um, you get tickled every time talking about Kyle Kuzma, right? He is 16.7, not 6.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists. They know that he's a scoring forward, solid rebounding. That's about it. Jordan Poole, 7 seasons in, 16.6, 2.6 rebounds and 3.7 assists. They know him as a scoring guard, but he does more playmaking than grabbing boards.
He does. I would say that's generous. Him doing more playmaking. I haven't seen. I've
Yeah,
watched a few Jordan Poole games. I haven't seen a lot of playmaking out there. But
yeah.
I mean, what we're gonna see with Kuminga, but hopefully his post Golden State career looks a little better than Jordan Poole's a year from now, 2 years from now. And according to the people in our comments, it will.
Well, there is hope, Matthew, because they sent him to Atlanta versus sending him to the Wizards.
Well, you go to Washington. Your days are numbered. Count your days once they send you to Washington, because your next step's Beijing or Shanghai.
And there you have it. All right, next up, Matthew. I just saw the podcast the other day with Jeremy Lin, and he sat down and they asked him, tell us about the Linsanity era. What was going on during that time? What was on your mind? What were you thinking? But Jeremy Lin, this is his quote. Excuse me, I got it right here. Jeremy Lin once said that the Miami Heat ended Linsanity. But the way he tells it is powerful, right? So he talks about how the spotlight actually made him nervous, how he would shrink when all eyes were on him. And during an insanity, that pressure was multiplied by 100,000. Going into that Heat game, the world saw a star. But Jeremy was just trying to survive long enough to get his minimum contract guarantee. All right. And while he was thinking, man, I just want to make it, the Heat were thinking, man, we're going to end him. And Miami threw everything at him. Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole, the big three, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. They locked in. They were trapping him, taking away every string. That's the night people say the insanity ended, and Jeremy gives them full credit for that. But here's the twist. Instead of only seeing it as a failure, Jeremy saw it as a validation, for a former undrafted player who wasn't supposed to even be here. The fact that a super team watched film on him, circled the game, and sent the whole fleet just to stop him, that meant to him that he had really made waves. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, that's the prime Heatles. That's like the year they won the first championship. Bosh, Wade, James, 4 months away from winning their first championship, and their game planning for Jeremy Lin, and for good reason, because I just pulled up the 11 games, I suppose, and made up Linsanity.
Uh huh.
So New York loses to Boston on February 3rd, 2012, and
Uh
Jeremy
huh.
Lin only plays 6 minutes, goes 0 for 3, whatever. The next 11 games, The Knicks go 9-2. Jeremy Lin averaging 24 points a game, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, shooting 50% from the field, 36% from three, and was a net plus 94 for those 11 games. The Knicks went 9-2. Then at the end of that run, they play the Heat. He scores 8 points. He's a minus 19. Lin's sanity is effectively over. But you got to think, for a guy like Jeremy Lin that was basically a role player before that, and I want to say before that, because I remember when he was on Golden State, he was a borderline G League guy when he was playing on Golden State with Monte Ellis. And I mean, he was like a non-entity. He was just like one of those like feel-good stories, like when you hear like first ever Taiwanese American player, like something like that, then you never hear that name again. So, I mean, he was borderline 15th man pre-Linsanity. Then after Linsanity, he's like a good 6th man for like 6 or 7 years in his career. And then winds down, wins that chip with the Raptors as a bench warmer again. So, I mean, the stages of his career, bench warmer, 6-man, bench warmer. But in between that beautiful season with the Knicks, and especially those beautiful 11 games where a guy, an average dude, an average, nothing special, score first point guard, 24 points, 9 assists, 50% from the field, has the Knicks go 9-2, a team that had Carmelo, a team that had Amari Stoudemire, although I believe Amari Stoudemire was already missing significant time with injuries by that point, to come out of nowhere and be the best player on that team. I mean, it's really an amazing story. And you got to think, most of us will never do anything in life. Like, nobody will ever remember us that we were even here. And so the idea that, for those 11 games, he was a better player on his team than Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. I mean, that's amazing. He won't be in the Hall of Fame, but they should take one of his jerseys from the Linsanity run and put it in the Hall of Fame, because it was really something that we'll never see again.
Right. And on top of that, I remember during the era when that was happening, and there's two things, right? One thing we learned, or at least I learned, right? Boy, when you got somebody like Linsanity, Jeremy Lin, and Yao Ming, man, when the Asian community come together, like, bro, they come together. Bro, I just wonder, how much do you think the NBA benefited from his Jeremy Lin jersey? I mean, because the Asian community, and there's billions of them, they were buying him and Yao Ming's jersey like crazy. I know the NBA made a killing off of them.
It's a big deal, but I would have to look at the numbers on this one, because Yao Ming is from China, and Jeremy Lin is from Taiwan, and so obviously someone from China is probably not going to buy the jersey of a Taiwanese player. So I don't know exactly like how them numbers break down. Like, I bet, like, for instance, like someone we don't even think about, like Shi Jinlin of the Milwaukee Bucks, I bet he sold some jerseys just because he was a Chinese player. But also Jeremy Lin played in the CBA later in his career, so I don't know what his relationship with China was like. But yeah, I'm sure he sold a bunch of jerseys. I mean, I was out partying Halloween, and I saw somebody with a number 7 Brooklyn jersey, and I said, "What, are you KD for Halloween?" And then he turned around, and it was a Jeremy Lin jersey. And so to still see a Brooklyn Jeremy Lin jersey out in the wild in 2025, because that's when I saw it, it tells you he still got shooters out here.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, it was an interesting take, man. I love seeing Jeremy Lin. I mean, I was a fan of his during his run. I don't know about you, Matthew. I was pulling for him because, I don't know, in the NBA, when you have a guy like that that's considered like the undrafted, the underdog, anytime they can get a run and get spotlight and maybe make a little bit more money or get a contract extension, I'm all for it, man. I don't know how much he made during his career, but I was definitely on the bandwagon of pulling for the underdog. Especially going against the big three like that. And we know from past interviews, they always talk about LeBron is a massive. Matter of fact, what video was that? Did you see the interview the other day? Who was it? Was it Carmelo Anthony or no? Amon Shumpert on Club Shay Shay. He was talking about how LeBron, he admitted it. Like, LeBron's the coach, right? He was talking about Tyrone Lue was there. He said Tyrone be like, "Oh, we got 10 seconds left. We're going to do this. LeBron like, no, we're not. We're going to do this. He said he would take the clipboard and draw out the play. And he said Lou would be like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let's go ahead and do with that. And he said LeBron did that to Tyronn Lue all the time. Like he was the coach, right? But on saying that, that was probably LeBron. And people that play with LeBron said this man study film, study plays. He knows who's going to go left, who's going to go right. He knows what refs are going to give you calls, what refs ain't going to give you. Like they said, when he studies the game, like he knows exactly who's going to do what, when, and where.
That's pretty interesting that Shumpert said that about Tyronn Lue, though, because I've always felt like ever since Tyronn Lue coached LeBron, that he's kind of been allergic to big personalities. Like, he had a weird relationship when Westbrook was on his team. He had a weird relationship when Chris Paul was on his team. And I feel like ever since he was with LeBron, he has to assert himself as the alpha, so he's never in that situation again.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, so we're going to move on to the next subject. Nikola Jokic got fouled by Lou Dort, and it was a hard foul. Matter of fact, let me see if I can switch. Let me see if I can.
Jokic was foaming at the mouth. He was fucking pissed.
Absolutely, he was. Let me see if I can get. Let me see. Yeah, there we go.
Is that a flop? Or is that legit?
Let's make it bigger.
It's hard to tell. Like, it looks like a dirty play, and I know Dort has a reputation as a dirty player, but from this angle, I just can't tell if that's a flop or not. Because and it just sucks because they all flop now. Like, that looks like Dort is, like, trying to be dirty, maybe, but I can't quite see Jokic to tell if he's flopping or not.
Right.
But he got up pissed. He got up foaming at the mouth.
Let me see.
You got that one?
Let me see. Let me add this one. Same one. All right, then we'll do this then. So we'll switch back. We'll switch back to us. Let me grab the video.
So it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, that looks, and I know Dort, the Dortcher chamber, has a reputation as being a little bit of a dirty player. And Jokic, people forget, Jokic has a little bit of a temper. I mean, we saw when Markieff Morris hit him with that little cheap shot, he basically pushed him so hard that he ended his career. Now, I don't know if it was an injury that ended his career, but I don't remember seeing Markieff Morris on an NBA basketball court after Jokic shoved him down. So he not playing. He's not out here playing RMVP.
All right, so let's remove this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and add this. I'm going to share the screen. All right, here we go. About to hit play. We're going to watch it.
Triple-double, his 22nd of the season and 186th of his career. And then McCain on the other end scores. And Jokic hits the deck. He doesn't like it. Gets in the face of Dort. Jalen Williams comes in.
Man, he was pissed.
And Williams do battle. Now the coaches come in along with some teammates to break things up. Jokic and Jalen Williams face to face right now.
All right, now let's fast forward it.
And the right leg
so where they show a slow right in the face. Look at that.
Started this, and then the pushing ensues.
And you wonder too. Now Jokic, he's just trying to get Jalen Williams off of him.
Oh, he's pissed. Look at him gritting his teeth and right in his face.
Around. Didn't look.
Jalen Williams talking to Jokic, though, man. Come on.
Man.
6 points a game versus 30 points a game.
Oh, man. And afterwards, they gave an interview with Joker on Lou Dort's. They call it a cheap shot. He said it was an unnecessary move and a necessary reaction. I think there's not supposed to be those things on a basketball floor. So it's just an unnecessary move and a necessary reaction by me.
And Jalen Williams.
I mean, what do you think? Was he justified? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to tell when these guys are flopping these days. And, I watched Jokic for the whole year that Russ played with him. I know Jokic isn't immune to flopping. Like, I know people get certain reputations and they think, oh, this guy plays it straight up. This guy plays it ethical basketball. But I've seen Jokic flop. So it looked like Dort was maybe trying to be dirty, trying to be tricky, sneak up there, give you the little hip check. But was it worth that reaction?
You can't see the video right here, but he gave him a bump and then he stuck out his foot, which made him go down on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what it is, then I think Jokic is in a place where he's saying, okay, nobody's going to punk me out. I might be the best player, one of the best players in the league, like one of the stars, one of the faces, but that doesn't mean you're going to punk me out. Like, I can still play hardball like I'm a role player. I'm a star, but I could still just buck with you like I'm James Johnson or something. And I mean, we've seen him, like, how many players have we seen push a player like he pushed Markieff Morris, let alone a star player?
Right.
You never see somebody that's brand conscious. Like, you never see like a LeBron, shove somebody like Jokic shoved Morris. So we know that when it's time, when those hours come, like, we know Jokic isn't running from the smoke, but I don't know. Like, part of me feels like it was a little bit of a flop on his part, so it was a little bit of an overreaction. But who are Lou Dort and Jalen Williams, Jay Will, to be getting in Jokic's face? And then Jalen Williams went and posted about it on Instagram after, which just makes it seem so contrived and so fake. Are you really trying to get buck with Jokic, or are you just trying to get some Instagram likes 3 hours later? I mean, that's what I have to ask. So, I mean, the whole situation, just a little bit lame to me. And these NBA beefs are so fake because we know nobody's fighting. Nobody's really fighting.
Right. So, matter of fact, what's going on with that, Matthew? Even Draymond Green even went on his podcast the other day and talked about the uptick on, little scraps, not full flights, but everybody's like really
he's causing
scrappy. You think so? People doing it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he had his fair share, right? But even he's shocked at the amount of people that's getting scrappy and fake about the fake fight now. There's been an uptick in it.
I mean, if we're talking about an uptick, the uptick started when he came in the league, and then it's gone up, and it's mostly him because all the like. The thing I'll say about him is, like, at least he's willing to get suspended for it. At least he's willing to freaking put Gobert in a chokehold.
Yeah.
At least there's a level to it. At least he's willing to knock out his teammate. Like, at least we know he's not playing. Like, it's not fun. Maybe it doesn't help the team, but I feel like with 95% of the guys, they're faking it. And at least we know with Draymond, like, this might not be helpful to your team, but hey, you really want the smoke. Like, you really out here like that. So I'll hate on Draymond for a multitude of reasons, but I will say that when he's really in someone's face, like, I do think, he's legit. Like, if they took it to the locker room, he go back there and fight you right now. Where with most of these guys, like even my guy Russ got in a fight yesterday with Maxi Kleber, and it's like, Russ,
I saw it.
Why are you arguing with Maxi Kleber? Like, you don't want to fight this guy. He don't want to fight. He's laughing. Now the team's giggling. And so
it makes it look bad, right? Like, they don't take Russ serious.
Yeah, it makes it look bad. And so, I mean, they don't take Draymond serious, but I feel like they'd take him serious if they had to fight him, where he's one of the few that you could actually say that, where he might actually strike fear in some of their hearts. Not all of them, but I feel like there's a few of them. I mean, I know Gobert not coming near Draymond.
Yeah. And matter of fact, Matthew, let's backtrack just a little bit. Going back when you're talking about Nikola Jokic, about he's been known to flop and stuff like that, right? It put me in mind of a clip I saw that I didn't see the game, but I caught the highlight. Karl Anthony Towns felt Wemby flop when he rolled up on him. Did you see that game the other day and bumped against him? And he's looking at Wemby go down like, really? You really going down like you're flopping? Come on now.
That was ridiculous.
What did you think about that? What did you think about that play?
Ridiculous because It was a hard ass offensive foul. And
Okay.
first, then he yelled out 7'4", 260. There is no way Wemby's 260. If
Oh,
Wemby,
220 maybe.
yeah, come on, man. Wemby is not 261. But two, that was actually a foul. Like, am I
Right.
taking crazy pills here? That was actually, like, he fouled him hard as hell. He put that big old broad shoulder into him. I mean, come on. If that
And
was
look, I
me,
want you, y'all fans, I want you to tell Matthew. He asked y'all a question. Was that a real foul? Y'all leave it in the comment section. Let Matthew know whether that was a real foul or did Wemby flop.
come on, man. If Cat hit me with a shoulder like that, I would have flew 30 yards. That was as real of a foul as they come. Like, the idea that he flopped there, because I've been watching Wemby. Wemby don't really be flopping like that. Wemby plays what they call ethical basketball. And he went down pretty hard, and it was because that was a legit offensive foul.
Now, I will say this, Matthew. A few years ago, they say, you remember they came out with the flopping thing a couple years ago about they're going to start calling it and be more hard and stricter. I don't know if this is true. I don't know, but they're saying it was because of LeBron James. They're like, there's no way this guy's a solid 260, 6'9", 8, 7, and somebody like a Tyrese Maxey really or John Morant really gonna knock him down to the ground and he falling and flipping. Did you hear the same thing that it was mostly based on LeBron's flops?
I mean, you know what? Maybe I haven't heard that, but it would make sense. But the way these guys flop now, the way Luka flops, the way FTA flops, I mean, it makes what LeBron's doing look like child's play. And, you think of some of the classic floppers. LeBron's been flopping for a bit now. Not his whole career, but he's been flopping.
Yeah.
My boy Ginobili, flopper. D Wade, flopper. But
Yeah.
I mean, the way these guys do it now, with no shame.
bad.
Back in my day, we used to at least pretend to actually get hit when we fell. We used to actually hit the deck, going hard to the hoop.
Right.
Back in my
Right.
day. And the way SGA and Luka just fall over every time they shoot a jump shot.
Right.
They want free throws for a jump shot almost every single time down. Give me a
Right.
break, man.
Yep. All right. Well, there you have it. NBA fans, listen, we enjoyed having y'all here on the live stream. Listen, don't be afraid next time for y'all to drop comments and stuff in there. If you got questions, something you don't agree about, definitely just post it on the live stream. And make sure you like, subscribe, and listen. Appreciate all those comments, man. What, Matthew, you need to start watching Jonathan Kuminga more, according to you.
Yeah, because I'm a fake fan, according to these guys. They say I ain't been watching enough of the second coming, Jonathan Kuminga.
All right, there y'all have it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Continue to share our content. Continue to watch us every Monday and every Thursday. We're always going to go live somewhere between 8 and 9, depending on how work and schedule and stuff goes. But you always can catch it on those 2 days. And if not, we'll let you know ahead of time. But you can catch us next Thursday around 8 p.m. And Matthew, is there anything you want to say in closing?
Well, as I always say, this is the best part of my week. Looking forward to Thursday.
Yep. There you have it. Till next time, Sean and Matthew, we signing out.